fellow weebs. Have you ever had an anime girl you like not winning the waifu war and getting the ending she deserves? Exactly. Well, today I have just the right story for us. The protagonist of the story is one of us. While most people are reading a rom-com manga to see who the winner is and enjoy the story, the MC is dedicated to his oshi, meaning the girl he supports the most. The girl he so frantically loves has short silver hair, upturned eyes giving off a cold energy, emitting aura that looks at you as if you are a piece of trash. After searching every corner of an anime merch shop, he is able to locate his oshi, Sei Shimada's precious goods. She is from the hottest rom-com manga series, whatever the fuck this is, also known as Ojojama. The story starts with your typical dense protagonist Yuichi Shigemoto having two main girls falling all over him. I bet you his only redeeming trait is probably being Yasashi as fuck. Upon entering high school, he falls in love with a girl named Shiho Fujise, the main heroine of the story. And of course, Yuichi's childhood friend Kaori, a wealthy Ojusama, would also have a crush on him, abusing her wealth and influence to steer the relationship her way as much as possible. This story revolves around the fragile love triangle between the three characters, making it interesting to read and receiving widespread commendation. Like many other rom-com manga, there has to be a side girl around the MC, usually ending up falling in love with the main character and losing later on tragically. Such character in this story is none other than Sei Shimada, our story's protagonist's crush. I see two big reasons why the MC may fall in love with her. Her booberinas are so white. Oh, I mean her hair is so big. May I be a kind gentleman and offer to relieve some pressure off Button-kun? He seems to be struggling here. Back to our main story. Our boy is among the most religious type of worshippers. He goes out of the way to collect his waifu's character card, even occasionally smiles at it like a pious follower that probably has a few restraining orders on him. Before he takes out something else in order to appreciate his waifu to the next level, he stops himself and carefully puts the card back to a folder. However, just as he makes up his mind to earn more money to support his religion, he snaps back his head and sees the almighty being, Truck-kun. Now, all the veteran readers of any anime or manga should know what happens next. But before we go there, we must mention what is going on in our weeb's mind as his life flashes before him. A Sigma otaku once said, "Life is short. Finish the manga you started." Since our boy has yet to witness the ending of the story, he does not want to move on so quickly. The next time the otaku opens his eyes, he feels dizzy, disoriented, and is apparently somewhere he shouldn't be. To us, it is obvious he is standing in a school corridor, but considering his own mother probably won't even recognize him in this pathetic state, we shall let it slide. He still vaguely recalls that he was hit by the mighty truck-kun. The MC is able to calm himself down and is now finally trying to figure out where he is. But, before he does anything, he overhears two girls talking in the classroom he is standing next to. He could not believe his eyes. It was living and breathing Sei Shimada herself, and with her, Shiho Fujise, the heroine of Ojojama.
Wait a minute!
Let's think about it for a second. If you suddenly transfer inside the manga and see your favorite waifu in 3D, with facial features more similar to human, will you still be able to recognize her with one glance? Surely we are not seeing a girl walking around with head so large that she thinks in 8K HDR and think to ourselves, "Oh wow, that is my waifu." That means being able to recognize Sei in one glance truly takes skill and limitless dedication. The two girls are talking about Yuichi-kun in this scene. Sei is being a good friend to Shiho, organizing her feelings for her and making sure she and Yuichi, the MC of Ojojama, would end up together happily ever after. This scene happened when Shiho was invited to a date by Yuichi. Shiho is being considerate for Yuichi's childhood friend Kaori, as she is unsure if accepting the date would cause a temper tantrum on Kaori's side. Sei continues, saying if Shiho loves Yuichi, she should definitely go, as not going may mean she will miss her shot forever. Shiho thanks Sei with a smile, then jollies away singing a cheerful tune. What Shiho doesn't see is that Sei, with a sophisticated look, blesses her internally, wishing her all the best along with her own feelings. Of course, Sei too has a crush on the sinful Yuichi brick of a person. She was initially on guard of Yuichi's childish and pathetic advances on Shiho. But as a motherly figure, evident with the Giga Milkers, she cannot resist doting on this lost child. Therefore, the heroine for our story decided to be a wingwoman, sacrificing her own feelings. Our boy is madly in love precisely because of Sei's selfless mentality. Look, he cannot help but watch her from the side like a veteran stalker. The girl noticed some pervert panting outside profusely. She slams on her desk, standing up, and rushes to the door, startling the MC, who falls onto the ground butt first. At this holy moment, our boy is given a name: Hisamura. I am about to run out of ways to call this generic-looking sack of meat. Sei calls on his name and questions if he has overheard the earlier conversation. The boy becomes so humbled when Sei addresses him, he could almost bust out a fat one. Even his face becomes geometrically aligned. The Giga Chad himself would envy just how linear his jawline becomes. Though overjoyed, he still thinks that he is currently in a dream. This series of events has in fact occurred in the original story, so our boy is very familiar with the development to come. In fact, he is able to correctly deduce his name just by hearing his character's last name. He is Tsukasa Hisamura, one of the side characters in Ojojama, a close friend of Yuichi. He is the best friend character who always lightens the mood and cheers up the MC. And as fate goes for almost all such characters, he does not have his own love story, nor is involved in any romantic relationships. It just so happens that our boy shares the same and last name with this best friend character, who also happens to be one of his favorites in the story. Coming back to his senses, Tsukasa asks if Sei is truly fine with supporting Shiho and Yuichi's relationship. With a sorrow look in her eyes and a deep sigh, our girl answers that she deems the pair to be most suitable for each other, and she has no place in between such a match made in heaven. The way she's able to smile so brightly, even with an aching heart, petrifies Tsukasa for a moment. Knowing that deeply, Sei must be hurting, our boy decides to be a Giga Chad and make his move. He can no longer bear the inevitable tragic future ahead of Sei. Using all his might, our boy is able to contain his rapidly beating heart, squeezing out his last strength to say, "You make my heart doki doki as Aishi Teru." Tsukasa keeps staring at Sei, eagerly waiting for her response. A few moments later, Sei comes to realize the situation and lets out a loud confusion sound. Even through the screen, we can hear that someone accidentally left their locomotor on, as steam escapes from Sei's body. Sei was about to say something, but like a Chad, our boy interrupts her and proceeds to do what is known as a true combo. Leaving Sei no chance to respond with anything. He continues to compliment Sei's kindness and cool, pretty looks. Finally, the blushing girl catches a breather, telling the MC to stop. During the earlier combos, the MC used a finisher called Sei-chan, which is never used by Tsukasa in this series, before our boy's soul was placed into this body. This move has caused significant stun effect to the girl, so she is asking the reasoning behind it. However, our boy is not thinking about this at the moment. He is simply appreciating the cute, embarrassed look of his waifu, thanking God that he has a chance to even proceed with a confession. Thinking that this might be his only chance, Tsukasa continues his alpha maneuver, praising Sei-chan every chance he gets. Where he most admires her is how she is willing to suppress her own feeling for the sake of friendship. But this is also a conflicting thing for MC to say, since he doesn't like it when Sei does it because she gets hurt deeply inside. To take it to the next level, our Chad upgrades this love confession straight into a proposal, promising to keep Sei-chan happy for the rest of their lives. As we can see, Sei.exe has stopped functioning. Later, Sei comes back from blue screen mode. She cannot believe that someone wants to date her at all. The MC reassures her that he is 100% serious and is willing to bet his life on the promise. To Sei, Tsubasa is so out of character today. She wonders if he has been possessed, asking if he always says something so bold and audacious. Using pickup artist's favorite move, our boy instead blames the fault onto the girl, saying she is the very reason he has become so senseless all over her. Suddenly, Sei pays tribute to the good old trope and falls over backwards. The MC catches on and gently wraps his arm across her back, locking her in so she does not fall further down. Sei thanks our boy for catching her on time, but Tsukasa's heart is set on something else. He is freaking out internally for being so close to his waifu. He can feel the warmth of her body. Just one touch above, he would even be able to feel the motherly love. He can clearly see her long eyelashes and round, alluring eyes. Bro, are you sure we are in high school? I thought we were in Walmart now because she is the whole diary section. Tsukasa presses Sei to give him a clear-cut answer. He tightens his grip around Sei's waistline, preventing her from escaping. Unfortunately, Sei is not in the mood to give an answer immediately. She wants some private time to organize her thoughts. Although still pressing for an answer, the MC is already preparing himself for a rejection. Sei covers her eyes in embarrassment, then looks away, trying to hide her blushes. She proceeds to give our boy the Hood Classic Good Guy card, then saying it is not entirely impossible for her to be dating him. Since she did not outright deny the possibility, Tsukasa presses further for an answer. However, Sei's CPU is already overloading. She pushes away the MC and runs home in a panic, leaving him on the ground, startled. Our boy is not the type to give up easily. He quickly gets up and déjà vu all the way to catch up to Sei, shouting out loud that he is being serious. Once again, he repeats his declaration of romantic engagement. Honestly, at this point, he should just record his confession and play it in a loop. Sei stops running away, turns back and points her finger at Tsukasa, telling him to kindly,
Stai zitto,
which means to shut the fuck up in Italian. She then runs away in a hurry, never to be seen again. Meanwhile, our MC is so down bad because his waifu insulted him adorably just now. He no longer has any regret in life, now that he has confessed his love. Even if another truck-kun sends him back at this second, he would be willing to accept his fate. In the very next scene, we shift to Sei's POV. She used to think that she is not suited to be a heroine in a typical shoujo manga. But now, thanks to a certain someone, something may have changed for the better. Her heart is beating so rapidly as if she is a heroine in a shoujo manga this very moment. Sei has short hair and a tall figure. She always thought the heroine of a shoujo series should have long hair, have a cute and pretty face, a slender, petite body, and a lovable characteristic. Yes, just like her best friend Shiho, the polar opposite of her. Shiho comes to school today in a much better mood than yesterday. She says that thanks to Sei, she will be able to go on a date with stupid Yuichi. Sei is a humble sport. She plays it off and says, Shiho only succeeded due to her own hard work, whatever that means. Remember the childhood friend character we mentioned earlier? She is rumored to be Yuichi's fiancé. Luckily for Shiho, it turns out to be a false alarm and she can safely pursue her love. But when she thinks of the word love, her brain naturally replays Tsukasa's dazzling confession yesterday. At this state, she is as easy to read as an open book. As Sei's best friend, Shiho can tell something must have happened yesterday, prompting her to dig for the details. She took a wild guess and assumed maybe someone had confessed their love to her. Jackpot! Look at how red she has become. If you place her on a pole, the traffic will stop from all directions. Knowing that any cover-up will be futile, Sei finally spills the beans. Upon hearing plots spicier than Rental Girlfriend's whole 300 chapters, Shiho cannot help but gasp with sparkly eyes. She's just wondering why Tsukasa and Sei have been talking so much recently. But now it all makes sense. What matters the most now is whether Sei will agree to go out with him, to which Sei answers she has not given a clear answer. Detective Shiho wants to find out what goes on inside her best friend's noodle. She asks if she is already in love with someone else. Hearing this, Sei logically thinks what comes to her mind should be Yuichi's face. This is not the case. Such image is replaced with none other than Chad Tsubasa. How the turns have tabled, Shiho is now the one guiding Sei's feelings. She asks if our girl has felt anything when Tsukasa confessed to her. This time, surprisingly, she is able to give out a straightforward answer. She holds a fist tightly against her chest, slightly tilting her gaze, and admits that she was happy when being confessed to. What appears in her head is... Tsubasa's face filtered so much that even his own mother would not recognize him. Shiho finds Sei's flustered answers cute. It is very in character of her to be confused about her own feelings. Satisfied with her findings, Shiho walks out of the bathroom. She turns back her head one last time and says that she is genuinely glad her best friend is able to find her own love story. Maybe one day they can even have a double date. Sei finds what Shiho just said amusing, not because she is jealous of hearing Yuichi's name from Shiho, but exactly the opposite. She no longer feels the aching pain upon hearing the possibility that Yuichi might be dating her friend. As of the making of this video, the manga has 7 chapters. This video covers Chapter 1 and half of Chapter 2. If you want to see how this pair's romantic relationship blooms, be sure to check out the manga in the pinned comment below. Also, we upload weekly, so if you liked this video, please leave a like and subscribe. Thank you for watching until the end.